What up, though? Welcome back to WoodwardSports.com. We are the Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy Easy, joined by my man Spinmo Rex.
What up, though?
We got young Chris in the TD booth, JB Smooth, the ones and twos, and alongside joining us, Coach JB, all the way out from, I don't know, he's not in Compton no more, but Coach JB out in California. What up, though, man? Thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you. Coach, what do you make of this Jalen Carter stuff and having been around kids, you know, giving second chances at JUCO? Like, I don't know, what do you make of his situation and him as a prospect?
Nobody really knows, man. You can't speak out your, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth or speak out the side of my face when I don't really know. I'm not there. I got somebody on that staff, but you really don't know the scenario. All I know is he put himself in a bad situation, and now he's got to deal with that. And NFL security is really, really finite when they dig through and fine-tooth comb every single player. I've had 22 NFL teams call me in the last 2 weeks alone for a few of my players getting drafted this year. Every year I go through this with players. They're former FBI, CIA, sheriffs, National Guard. NFL hires the best of the best. They're retired, and now they work in NFL security. They are going to fine-tooth comb every single detail in your background, from elementary school all the way to wherever you are now. And I'm sure that they're giving intel to particular teams like the Raiders, who said they're no longer interested. And then you have the Detroit Lions coming out and saying, basically, we have interesting stories we won't share, but they're interesting to say the least, which tells you basically we're probably not going to mess with them either. So there's something out there. But do we really know what it is? No. NFL security, that's what they do.
Yeah, and what would you say would be like the trade-off of talent to something like that? Because obviously this guy was a blue chip stock, potential, top three prospect in this draft. So how much is that weighed where you look at the talent of a guy compared to the back history and the problems that he might deal?
I mean, I don't know. The NFL's full of them. I mean, Kamara's dealing with some drama. Kareem Hunt's hit a girl. Mixon's known to hit a girl on camera. I mean, Tyreek Hill. The list goes on. It's a long, long laundry list of guys who have done things in this league. And now you have the Henry Ruggs deal, and now you have another issue. The issue that blows me away is the NFL don't do anything to prevent it. They don't do any preventative measures. Everything's a tweet after the fact. There is no proactive assistance for these guys. This is an unlimited resource-driven league. There's unlimited resources. The NFL and the teams have car drivers. They have resources to help with people who drink and they're chilling. They got cars to pick them up. It's really inexcusable, and it's really Roger Goodell and everybody in the world that come out and talk about player safety and this and this and this, but refuse to address the real issues. And that is the we want to worry about the game on the field, but we're not worried about the product off of it. And that is why there is such a big there's so many issues right now with these young kids who get a big bag of money and have never, ever, ever had it before, and they don't know what to do with it but to go be dumb. And that's what you see a lot of. The risk versus reward is to answer your question, is risk versus reward. And you got guys in the league right now who are playing that are being allowed to. So I don't see what the big difference is here. If the kid's good enough to play, so be it. The problem is he hasn't played an NFL down yet. So these other guys have, and that's what they know, and that's why they give them these big bags and willing to take the risk. This guy has not played it down yet. Are you willing to take a risk with a guy that hasn't played it down in your men's league yet? Is he going to be a cancer? It takes one bad apple to ruin the whole batch, and you pay him a first-round paycheck? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how far he drops. Is it a Laramie Tunsil situation from a few years ago, or is it even worse? We will see, but only time will tell on that deal. But the NFL wants the best players. They really don't care too much about what they do off the field as long as they produce on it.
Coach, now you got the daily show that you do on your channel as well. Like, are you paying more attention to the draft? And, like, what do you make of Carter as like a pure prospect on the field? Like, how do you think his game translates to the NFL level?
I think he needs some work, man. I think he's got to lose some of his weight. We like, interior guys, 3 techniques, inside shades, 2 eyes, different guys that we like to play inside. They demand a double. We want our interior guys to be a little quicker. Our 3 techniques are bigger body guys. I think he can play either or, but he's probably going to end up playing the 3 technique if we don't lose some booty weight. We love looking at we love looking at the booties of D tackles, man. To be honest, that's how we recruit. To be honest, when we recruit, that's the first thing we throw the laser on, or the red dot, is their hamstrings, their glutes, their ass. We want to see how big it is, for the simple fact that they got to get low, take on a double, demand a double, and then they got to still get skinny and try to fight the double. And that is what we look at when we're recruiting these guys, what the bend is, their knee bend, their hips, their swivel. How do they track the ball? Can they retrace? Can they turn around and chase the ball down on a reverse? Different things when we're looking at D linemen like this. I got a lot of them I've sent to the NFL. He can play. I want to see how quick twitch he is watching a little more film, but he can play the shade or the 3. It just depends on what he's weighing right now, and obviously not doing too much in the combine or in the draft. I don't know what he's doing pro day wise. Interested to see how he moves, how he retraces, his first step, how physical he is at the point of contact when 2 hats double him. How physical he is, and can he rip through something? Can he get low, start a pile up for his teammates to then trace the ball? All those things are little intangibles, but the bottom line, the number one intangible thing is he a team guy? Because if he's not, he's going to go into the wrong gap, and he's going to do something he's not supposed to do, and it's going to burn his teammates. And this is why they do background situational checks like this, so that doesn't happen. So he doesn't go and lose gap integrity, goes through a wrong gap on a stunt when he's supposed to be in A gap. He goes in B gap, and the linebacker's in A gap, and they hit each other because he wants to be hard-headed and not listen. They weigh in on all this stuff. Is the kid coachable? Is he coachable? That's going to be number one. Or is he going to go drive a car off a cliff racing during week 8 of the season? This is why they do these checks.
And then the other question I wanted to ask you too is, like, having your situation in JUCO, there are the kids that sometimes labeled as knuckleheads. Like, what characteristics do you look for in kids to make that transition from being a bit of a knucklehead to becoming that team guy that you're talking about?
I never judge a kid before he gets to me. I've taken hundreds of Division I transfers. I've had them come to me. They could have been leaving Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State or what have you. Regardless of what has happened, unless it's like a domestic violence thing or something regarding that, I wouldn't touch the person at all. I wouldn't touch that kid and bring him in. But if it was credit cards or weed or grades or being a knucklehead and maybe a DUI, I don't know. I've had all those type of players. I don't judge you from what you did before. I judge you how you are with me. And I have an opportunity to help you, mold you, and massage you back into a big time player and fix some things. Then that's what I'll do. JUCO was football jail. That's what it was for. That is why I created it the way I did. And that's why I have 28 guys in the NFL and 270 Division I and 8 winning the Super Bowl. And the list goes on, plus the highest graduation rate and highest GPA among football playing JUCOs. And that's why I sent 145 kids D1 in 4 years at Indy on that show, is because I am how I am. And I don't have any regrets. It's football jail. Come in, work hard, grind, become a better person, and I'll teach you those things if you're willing. If you're not, then I'm going to cut you, and you're probably damaged goods. So this is the second school you've left. So when it comes to character evaluation and those type of things, I have a grading system, to be honest, man. I grade them out, what they're coming to me for versus how did I get them? We only get 3 types of kids, really, maybe 4. We get a non-qualifier out of high school who doesn't have the grades to go to an Alabama, but is an Alabama type of player. That's one kid. The second kid is a transfer from Alabama who either felled out, got kicked out for various reasons, or the third type of kid we get is a guy that wants to play. He's not getting the time that he wants, so he wants to transfer to play, and we'll take him. That's been eliminated now, though, and this is why I think you're seeing more and more drama with these kids and more incidents with these kids, because JUCO used to be the transfer portal. There is no more JUCO transfer portal, meaning you leave Alabama and you go JUCO for a year, you get humbled, and then you go back to an Alabama type of program. That is no longer. Now you're in a portal sitting there, thousands of kids trying to fit into 130 schools. Just do the math. It doesn't make sense. There's not 1,000 D1s. There's 132. So when there's 10,000 kids in the portal, where do you think they're going? They used to go JUCO. Now they're not. They're sitting there thinking they're going to be the next big best thing since sliced bread waiting to happen, and they're basically wasting themselves, and they're sitting in a portal, and that's why you see a lot more trouble, a lot more drama. Kids aren't being humbled anymore, and they're not being told what they need to be told. They're being told what they want to hear, and there's a huge difference, and there's an old adage in coaching. You either coach it or you allow it, and we're allowing it at an all-time rate. And this is why we're seeing the issues that we're seeing at Alabama with basketball, Alabama with football now. The issues just keep continuing. They've always been around, but I think they're even more now, more so now.
So specifically looking at Jalen Carter's case and what happened with him with the drag racing incident and the leaving the scene, I wanted to ask you, obviously, like you said, you've dealt with a lot of kids in positions similar, making mistakes and trying to right the ship, especially going into the most important couple weeks of his young life in the draft process and all of that. What would you have advised him to do in that situation, and how do you think you would have told him to handle that?
You mean after the fact?
Yes.
That's the thing, man. That's the issue. You go through my 20 years plus of coaching, we've all had issues. We've had kids that do dumb things, but I don't believe they're being preached to, I guess is the word, enough. We're not proactive enough in this profession right now, for the simple fact that the turnover rate every semester I don't believe it is possible to do what we used to do. And let me explain real quick if I can. The philosophies change per program, per coach. Ideologies change, philosophies change, cultures are different. Alabama's culture is completely different than LSU's. It's completely different than Notre Dame, USC. USC's culture is completely different than UCLA. I mean, everyone's different. So what happens is when you have high turnover rate like we have right now in this portal, you go from an Alabama learning a culture that is conducive to sending guys to the NFL, and you learn how to tackle a certain type of way. You learn how to be in meetings and conduct yourself a certain type of way. You leave that school and you go to Toledo, where they tackle a different way. They have a different philosophy in the weight room. They have a different classroom study hall policy. You have this how many times? You got kids transferring 4 times in 4 years. So my point is, you have kids every spring semester now in bunches. How do you get through to all these kids and be proactive to preach the gospel and say, listen, man, this ain't what we're doing. We're not drag racing. We're not treating women this way. We're not calling women the B word. We're not sagging. We're going to sit in the front row of class. All these things are no longer, because the culture now is about how fast can I get these new transfers to learn my system, learn my offense, my defense, get in and out, and let me get them wherever. And let me win a lot of games to keep my job as the head coach. Before, it used to be, let me graduate, matriculate, and educate. We're not doing that anymore. Now it's about, how fast can I get this kid in? This kid's in the portal. Hey, you 4 GAs, make sure you're looking at these kids in the portal. We got to get linemen this year. And then not knowing their background, because we're so fast trying to keep up with the Joneses, that because Georgia got a kid and LSU got a kid, now we got to get the same kid without doing due diligence, without doing background checks, without doing our own research and homework. And people don't dive into this stuff I'm talking to you about, man. They don't want to dive deep into it. There's a lot more underlying issues, and transferring is a whole completely different topic. We can talk about that for hours and hours and hours. But that is the sole reason, in my opinion, that we have the issues we're having. We're not being proactive in how we're teaching these kids. And here's the bottom line to answer the question, and I'll sum it up real easy. These kids do not fear anything anymore. And I don't mean fear in a bad way. I don't mean you're fearing Coach JB because he's going to choke slam me. No, I mean you're not fearing the coach anymore on fearing letting him down, fearing letting her down. Man, I screwed up and I let coach down, and he got me a scholarship, and he took care of my mom, and he got my other brother graduated, and he's going to get me where I need to go. And the definition of coach is getting you where you could not get yourself. And these kids don't care no more, dog. They don't care about fearing to let you down. They have no fear in letting you down anymore. They're the most disrespectful, lazy, enabled, self-gratifying. They want instant gratification. They want. They don't give. They have no idea what hard work is and how it is to attain something through hard work and effort and work for it and earn it. They want. And then when they don't get, they enter the portal. And their mamas let them. And that's the problem. Our households are so screwed up. We allow it. We don't coach it. We got kids telling their mamas what they will and will not eat, what color car they want to get when they turn 16. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. And the parents who hold the keys to the car are giving them out. And these kids never even learn how to drive. And that's what is so mind-boggling to me right now. We're allowing it, and instead of coach it, and it's across America. It's through the college landscape, basketball, football, baseball, you name it. The portal is all-time high, and I just don't think you can preach anymore like we once did because of the transfer rate and the lack of culture.
Coach, this has been some really great, really insightful stuff.
Yeah.
The people over Sports Chat are blowing up. They want to know where they get some more Coach JB, and I know you got the whiskey, and you got the cigars and stuff too. Plug yourself in, man, because I know you're live daily yourself.
Yeah, I'm the first thing going in the mornings, man. I'm at 6 a.m. on the West Coast. I go 3 hours every day on the Coach JB show on YouTube, and then obviously on social media and all that. If they quit deleting my Instagrams, because I guess they don't like real people on those profiles, so I'll probably never get Instagram back. But used to be verified on there. They deleted that about 3 times, so I'm tired of making those up. So I'm gonna stay off Instagram. But I'm on Twitter. Obviously, that's where I do all my I guess my talking. And don't start none, won't be none. That's basically what I say on Twitter. But the coach, the real coach _JB, and then TikTok. I don't really mess with TikTok. Those youngsters, man, I can't really mess with. And before I leave, man, I appreciate the plug, but that is who I would coach if I was coaching right now. TikTokers. Do you realize I'd be fired tomorrow? You know I'd be fired tomorrow because that is who they are. I could not imagine coaching these TikTok kids.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd say a lot more, but I'm trying to turn over a leaf, man. I'm trying to limit my cussing on my own show now, so I'm trying to be nice, man. Nice guy. We'll try it out for at least a couple weeks. If it don't work, I'll go back to being my slapdick self.
There you go. Appreciate you so much, Coach.
I appreciate you, man.
That was amazing, man.
Thank you.
All right, brother. I appreciate you guys.
See you, Coach.
See you later, Coach.
Goated.
Dude, that was...
Coach JB keeps it real, man.
Coach JB definitely keeps it real. That was awesome.
Make sure you check him out, man. Coach
was so
JB
awesome.
on YouTube, and shout out his Twitter as well.